Have you ever stopped to think that some manias might be holding you back from prosperity? Yes, that's right. We are talking about behaviors that are so ingrained in our daily lives that, without realizing it, they end up keeping us in a cycle of lack and scarcity. And the most intriguing? Many of us share these habits without even imagining their impact on our finances. So I'm going to talk about these 5 poor people's habits that could be making you poorer and poorer. So, do you identify with any of them? It's crucial to stay until the end, as the last craze is not only the most common, but also the one that most easily goes unnoticed. But first, leave your like, because I know you will like this content. And for more content like this, subscribe. So, my friend, let's get straight to the point I want you to understand today. When I tell you about the habits that keep you poor, we're not just talking about money. Yes, you can have an incredible salary, like that doctor who earns $50,000 a month, but still live with the mentality of someone who is always on the edge. What do I mean by that? Let's talk about something that touches all of our lives, the tireless search for the cheapest. Imagine that you need a new outfit, one that you wear almost every day. You have 2 options. One that costs a little more, but is of higher quality, and another that is much cheaper, but deep down, you know it won't last as long. Here comes the first habit, always opting for the cheapest, thinking you are saving money. But my friend, is it really? Let's use a simple example to illustrate. You decide to buy the cheapest sneaker because you think, oh, it's just a sneaker, why spend more? But here's the trick. These sneakers start to fall apart within a few months, while a better quality sneaker would have lasted years. In the end, you end up spending more because you need to buy new sneakers much more often. Not to mention the discomfort and problems that low-quality sneakers can cause to your feet. It does not stop there. Think about your everyday choices, like the foods you buy. Always opting for the cheapest option can mean choosing products with lower nutritional value, which, in the long term, affects your health and can lead to higher expenses with doctors and medicines. What I want you to understand is that this habit of always looking for the cheapest can be a trap. I'm not saying to live on appearances or spend without discretion, but rather to invest in quality when it means real long-term savings, health, and well-being. Thinking like this requires a change of mindset. It's not about being rich in money, but rich in smart choices. It's about valuing your investment, whether it's a good pair of shoes, a nutritious meal, or a piece of furniture that will last a decade. So, the next time you're about to make a purchase, ask yourself, am I really saving money, or am I just putting off a bigger expense? The answer to this question could be the first step to breaking out of this cycle of mania that keeps you stuck in a scarcity mentality. Second very common habit that, perhaps without realizing it, many people have, that of calling themselves poor. Do you know when something goes wrong, or when a moment of joy seems to last very little, and you say, poor people's joy doesn't last long? Well, this phrase, which seems so harmless, carries enormous weight. First, let's understand one thing. Words have power. When you call yourself poor, you're not just making a casual comment about your current financial situation. You are unintentionally reinforcing a scarcity mentality, a limiting belief that traps you in this state. It's as if you're telling your mind, this is where I belong, and I can't leave here. But the truth, my friend, is quite different. I'll tell you a secret. Your mindset is the key to transforming your life. If you believe that you can improve, that you can get rich and prosper, you will find ways to make it happen. It may seem too simple, but it is a powerful principle. The most successful people believe in themselves before anything else. They do not see themselves as victims of circumstances, but as creators of their own destiny. Now, let's do an exercise. Imagine that you are faced with 2 paths. One is the path of self-description, poor, where you limit yourself, put yourself down, and accept scarcity as part of your identity. The other is the path of prosperous mindset, where you see yourself as someone capable of changing your situation, learning, growing, and achieving your goals. Which path looks more inviting, more inspiring? Of course, changing this mindset is not something that happens overnight. It requires practice, patience, and above all, persistence. But every step you take away from this limiting self-denial is a step toward a life of greater abundance and satisfaction. So, cross this habit out of your life. Remember that you have the power to change your story. Start seeing yourself as someone who is in a process of growth and improvement. Talk to yourself with encouragement and hope. And don't just talk, but act on this new mindset. Seek knowledge, seize opportunities, and don't be afraid to fail. Remember, failing is just part of the learning process. Changing the way you see yourself may not transform your financial situation overnight, but it will transform the way you face life. And believe me, this change of attitude is the first step to building the life you want and deserve. So, my friend, are you totally willing to change this mindset? Comment the following word here in the comments: millionaire mind. I will give a heart to your comment, because I know that you are totally committed and you will get rich. The third habit that many people have, and which is also extremely common, is constantly complaining. Complaining about life, work, time, everything. Stop for a moment and think, how many times have you found yourself complaining today? And what positive did this complaint bring to your life? Probably nothing. Let's understand something very important. Complaining is like using a magnet that attracts more negative situations. This happens because, when complaining, you focus on what you don't want, on what is wrong. And according to the principle of attraction, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the negative, guess what? More negative will come. Now, imagine that, instead of complaining, you start to be grateful. Yes, thank you. As strange as it may seem, there is always something to be grateful for. It can be something as simple as waking up in the morning, having a meal to make, friends, family, or even challenges that make you grow. When you start to be grateful, something magical happens. You shift your focus from the negative to the positive, and just as complaining attracts more negativity, being grateful attracts more positivity. Imagine two people. The first complains because it is raining, and she got wet on the way to work. She arrives at work irritated, complains to her colleagues, and her day only gets worse. The second person, also getting wet in the rain, thinks, "It's good that it's raining. Nature needs water. What about me? I can dry off and move on." She arrives at work grateful to have a job, shares a positive word with her colleagues, and her day flows in a lighter and more productive way. Do you notice the difference? The first person let the complaint define her day, bringing more dissatisfaction and problems. The second chose gratitude, and it completely changed her perspective and outcome of the day. Complaining is a mania that takes you nowhere, except for a state of constant dissatisfaction. It puts you in a victim position where things happen to you, instead of you happening in life. It is a passive stance in the face of challenges. So how to change this? Start small. Swap a complaint for a thank you. For example, if you're about to complain about traffic, shift your focus to the fact that you have a means of transportation. If you're about to complain about your job, be grateful for having a source of income. Make this a habit. Soon, you will notice a significant change in your perception of life and the good things that will begin to appear. Remember, life is a reflection of your choices and attitudes. Choose gratitude. Choose to focus on the positive. This does not mean ignoring problems or challenges, but facing them with a more positive and productive attitude. This is a change that starts within you and has the power to completely transform your life. Fourth mania. And what is a real obstacle to success and prosperity is the constant dependence on help from others. That's right. I'm talking about that tendency to always ask for help or favors, especially when it comes to money, instead of rolling up your sleeves and finding solutions on your own. Imagine you have a goal or a dream. It could be anything, like buying a new toy, for example. Now think, what would be the best way to get this toy? Asking for money from others or finding a way to get it on your own? When you always ask for help, without trying to do it yourself, you end up creating an invisible barrier that prevents you from discovering your true potential. It's like you're always waiting for someone to give you a fish instead of learning how to fish. At first, it may seem easier to simply ask, but this attitude keeps you dependent and, in the long run, leaves you poorer. Not just in money, but in experiences, knowledge, and self-confidence. Now, let's think together. The world is full of information and opportunities. Let's use the example of YouTube. It is an amazing platform where you can learn practically anything. Want to learn how to cook? He has. Want to learn how to fix something? Also have. Do you even want to learn how to make something to sell and earn your own money? Yes, it has that and much more. So why do some people choose not to take advantage of these opportunities? Often, it's because victimizing yourself and asking for help seems easier. But here's a positive and important insight. Every time you decide to do something for yourself, you grow. Grow in skill, confidence, and independence. And that feeling of achievement? Oh, this is priceless. Consider the story of people who, despite the difficulties, did not let themselves be defeated. They could have taken the easy way out by constantly asking for help, but instead they chose to learn, work, and fight for their dreams. And in the end, they not only achieved their goals, but became inspirations for many others. So what I'm saying here is simple. Instead of asking, start acting. Use the resources around you. Learn something new. It may start small, but start. And believe me, every little step you take on your own takes you further than any help you could ask for. And that doesn't mean you should never ask for help. Of course, we all need a helping hand at some point. But the key is not to rely on it for everything. It's learning to be your own help first. Remember, the world owes you nothing but offers everything. It's all out there, waiting for you. So the next time you think about asking for help, ask yourself, have I really tried everything I could? If the answer is no, then you already know what to do. It's time to stop victimizing yourself, roll up your sleeves, and start building your path with your own hands. And believe me, this is the path to true wealth. The fifth craze is about people who like to get along at the expense of others. That's right, I'm talking about freeloaders. This mania is not only harmful to those who are exploited, but also to those who exploit, although it may not seem like it at first glance. To understand better, let's imagine a situation. Think about someone who works at a company and finds a way to make it look like they're working harder than they actually are. Maybe this person sends emails late at night when it's not necessary, just to look like they're always working hard. Or maybe you'll take credit for a project you didn't contribute that much to. In the short term, this person may appear to be doing well, receiving praise and even promotions. But what about in the long term? Here's the problem. Building a career or any kind of success on deception and taking advantage of others is like building a house on sand. It may seem solid at first, but it doesn't have the foundation to last. Eventually, the truth comes out. Coworkers start to notice, trust erodes, and that person's reputation suffers. And in the world of work, reputation is everything. Furthermore, this habit of getting along at the expense of others creates a cycle of negativity and distrust. People who are exploited or betrayed by coworkers or friends become less likely to trust and help in the future. This harms not only the person who was taken advantage of, but the entire environment around them. Now let's think even more broadly. Imagine a person who always tries to take advantage of his friends. For example, she always insists that others pay for her, promising that next time will be different, but that next time never comes. Or maybe this person always asks for favors, but is never available when others need help. Over time, friends begin to move away, realizing that this relationship is one-sided. The result? Loneliness and the loss of valuable friendships. What is crucial to understand here is that true success and wealth come from building genuine relationships, mutual trust and contribution. It's about giving as much as you receive. People who truly thrive and build lasting wealth are those who understand the value of working hard, being honest, and helping others grow along with them. So if you think about the long term, want to build solid relationships, whether at work or in your personal life, and want wealth that lasts, the key is simple. Be authentic, work hard, and treat others with respect and equality. Now that's building a solid foundation for success. Remember, the way you treat people in situations today determines the kind of success you will have tomorrow. And that, my friend, is a truth worth its weight in gold. But what's up, my friend? Did you get all these insights I told you about? And I'll tell you, honestly, if you have any of these manias, eliminate them immediately from your life, today. And if you liked this video, if it was enlightening, leave your comment, leaving your feedback or something like that. And of course, subscribe to the channel and leave your like, because this was enlightening knowledge that I gave you, and I know you will thank me.